Congressman, as you are sort of breaking through some barriers in the polls, some other things are happening. There's been some talk, again, resurfaced talk, about some things that you that were written in a newsletter under your name. I know you've started to address this, but in 2008, the New Republic, James Kirchick attributed some comments to you in newsletters where you referred to disturbances in Washington's Adams Morgan as animals taking over the D.C. Zoo, referring to African Americans. You said that Martin Luther King seduced underage girls and boys. You talked about Ronald Reagan proclaiming annual Hate Whitey Day with Martin Luther King Day, and you advocated prohibiting AIDS patients from eating in restaurants. These things were published under your name.
Yeah, but I didn't write them, and I disavowed them.
Right, but you're a presidential candidate. That's tough, right? I mean, it kind of comes back to bite you that you made money off of things that were published under your name that were hateful and racist.
Yeah, but this has been addressed for 20 years, and nobody accuses me of that type of beliefs or language. I'm a true civil libertarian, and I think people dig these up when people think that, oh, his economic policies are winning, his foreign policies are winning, his monetary policies are winning. So they have to dig these things up, which they really can't pin on me because they've been disavowed, and they are old, they've been rehashed. Just go back and read all the articles, and there's all the explanations. So, yes, it wasn't good, but I didn't write them, and those aren't my beliefs, so I sleep well.
Are you comfortable in telling us who did write them? You haven't been able to sort of tell us specifically who wrote them.
I really don't know. 20 years ago, I had 6 or 8 people helping me with the letter, and I was practicing medicine, to tell you the truth.
Right.
And so I do not know.
But we could find out because you had 6 or 8 people. Like it's one of those 6 or 8 people.
Well, possibly I could, but
I guess as you get closer to being president of the United States, folks will want to know that you don't really dislike black people and people with AIDS and things like that. And I get what you're saying, that you're going up in the polls and people are
excuse me, why don't they concentrate on every word I've ever said, every speech I've ever given, every conference I've ever gone to,
right?
And maybe that's where my beliefs are more important than stirring this up. So my beliefs, actually, a true civil libertarian is a strong defense of individual liberties, and nobody's accused me of lacking a libertarian spirit of defending individuals. So these charges are total contradiction to everything I've said and everything I believe.
Do you think the media establishment's been fair to you or unfair?
Oh, you mean, well, they're so biased. I don't know whether you use fair or unfair.
Okay, you think they're biased against you?
Well, I mean, why don't you go look at Jon Stewart's reports when he defends me on the biasness of the media. I mean, he mocked the media for the way they've treated me during the campaign and reported. But I don't get upset about that, and that's just the way you guys work, so it's no big deal to me. That's just the way. And the more progress I make in challenging the status quo, challenge the bankers and challenging the bank bailouts, challenging this wicked foreign policy of war forever and the military-industrial complex, the stronger they will emphasize picking this and ignoring the important issues of what freedom is all about and what civil liberty is all about. And why don't you go look at why I make a lot of comments about the war on drugs and how racist the enforcement of drug laws are. I mean, who else defends
I know you do.
The racism in drug laws? Yeah, you don't. You're concentrating on something else. So somebody someday ought to look at the whole picture rather than picking out something I didn't write and I have disavowed. So and that's been done many times. So go back and read the record.
It's the cost of surging in the polls, where people are paying a lot more attention to you, and they're going to start paying attention to all of these details. But as you know, Congressman, you and I have talked many times. We've talked about a broad range of the things that you've written about. So I think we appreciate you coming on to have this discussion with us, and we continue to invite you to be on to have these discussions, the broad range of discussions of things that you care about. So we do appreciate that. Congressman Ron Paul, Republican presidential candidate, and Congressman from Texas.
Support him or not, the one thing you have to respect Ron Paul for is he does always speak his mind.
Absolutely does.
He says exactly
and he does come
on
to talk about these issues.
That's right. That's right.